Update. Am I the a-hole for finding someone else when wife opened our relationship? Original post. I, 29 male, and my wife, 30 female, have been together for 7 years and married for 4. Last year, she came up with the idea of open relationship to try out new things. I said it's not something comfortable for me and would like to stay monogamous. It felt weird because it came out of nowhere. We were doing good and planning to build a family together. After my reply, she insisted a lot. So, in the end, I decided to give it a try. Here are the boundaries she set. You should always prioritize the spouse instead of the other partner. Always use protection. Do not bring the partner to the shared house. Do not form overly emotional connections. I told her I am not sure if I can do some of these things. I am an emotional person, though I love the physical part too. She said it's okay, I will be able to do it. And it's hard for men to form emotional relationships in such cases anyways. She found a partner quickly and easily. My wife was my first relationship partner, so I was not confident in myself. I did not have great chances when I was in my 20s. Eventually, after clearing out most of my work, I decided to try finding a partner in my spare time. Surprisingly, I was flocked with interest from younger or around my age women. I knew maturing and aging did a great job for me, but not to this extent. I started talking to multiple people, but decided to go ahead with only one of them. When I shared this information with my wife, she seemed surprised but congratulated me. She said she is shocked how beautiful this woman is, and I was able to get her. It has been 10 months since finding a partner, but the more I got to know them and spent time with them, we formed an emotional connection together. This woman is aware of my situation and respects my boundaries. I realized I lost emotional and physical connection with my wife over time. I know one of the boundaries were about emotional connections and prioritizing the spouse, but I told her I was not sure if I could comply with some of these. I had a difficult talk with my wife last week about my situation. She immediately offered closing the relationship and going to couples counseling, but I am not interested, to be honest. She feels no different than a friend for me, and I am afraid I built resentment for her due to the open relationship situation. I told her it would just extend the misery for me and I would like to have a divorce. She flipped and cried, saying I am throwing everything away just for a fling. Am I the a-hole here? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. A story as old as time. Spouse A wants to open relationship. Spouse B is hesitant, but ultimately agrees. Spouse A ends up surprised and upset that Spouse B found someone, or many someones, to be with. Spouse A regrets decision. She dug her own grave here. It's even worse in a way. Spouse A also clearly thought Spouse B would not stand much chance with anyone else, much less anyone seemingly very attractive, effectively getting a hall pass without having to grant the same, and without calling it that. Well, that backfired. That's what I took from it too. The wife was both surprised that OP found someone, and then surprised again at how beautiful the woman was. I don't think his wife ever expected OP to do anything with the open part of their relationship, and she definitely didn't seem to have considered how she would feel about it if he did have a partner, even if the boundaries on the arrangement hadn't slipped. OP, not the a-hole. You didn't throw everything away for a fling. That sounds like projection on your wife's behalf, who seemed to have someone lined up very quickly. Even if you didn't realize, your feelings for your wife started fading the minute she asked to open the relationship. Now you found someone better and who you have stronger feelings for. When you get divorced, make sure you let her know this happened because of her insistence to open your marriage. Hope the other guy was worth it. Betcha he wasn't. She wouldn't be screaming and crying over the divorce if he were. This could have been written by a mate of ours, though it then hit divorce and he remarried to the new partner. Shocker. Happened to a friend of mine. An ex-wife got upset after her short fling ended with a guy, but his kept going and asked for a divorce over it. Yet my friend is still with a new girl, married and a kid. Now for the update. It will be short update. I gave her the divorce papers my lawyer drafted this week, and it did not go well. She refused separating amicably and said she'll make the process as painful as possible for me. She left the house after taking her important belongings, and I have no idea where she is. My lawyer told me it would take about 8 to 9 months at best for that kind of case to be concluded. He also told me there would be no problem of seeing each other after, as divorce process started. However, we decided to limit the physical contact with the other woman for now, and she agreed it would be best for a smoother divorce process. House is my premarital asset, and only shared or marital assets we have are joint saving and investment accounts. We also have our own account and investment accounts, which is subjected to assets sharing. I will be busy handling divorce and conflicts for the rest of the year. What a headache, especially when we could separate amicably by dividing the assets. That is all the update. A busy year awaits me, but I am sure I will be fine. As for my relationship with the other woman, there is no guarantee it'll continue, but you do not know if you do not try. Last year, she came up with the idea of open relationship to try out new things. Well, that's as far as I need to read. I know what's happening next. She found a partner quickly and easily, equals she already had a dude she was cheating with. And she was shocked that OP found someone. Bet she wasn't expecting that. I'm always a little surprised by this reaction. I can't believe that my spouse, who I found worthwhile to marry and supposedly love, was able to find someone else who could be interested in them. Seriously, I just assume people are attracted to my husband because why wouldn't they be? He's handsome, smart, funny, and charming. I know I'm lucky to have him. Why wouldn't someone else want a man as awesome as him? I don't understand these people who open their relationship and then are all shocked Pikachu face when their spouse gets a partner. Like, you married them. Surely they, at the very least, should think their spouse attractive, right? Right? 99% of the time when a partner drops opening the relationship out of nowhere, it's for one of two reasons. They already have their eye on someone else and want permission to sleep with them. They've started cheating and need a way to cover it up. In either case, the relationship is usually doomed as soon as the words come out of their mouth. I think there's also a third reason. They're getting ready to leave the relationship anyway and want to scope out their options before blowing up their current relationship. This is sometimes the case, but uncommon enough. I'd put it in the 1% set of reasons. Most of the time, if someone is already that done with a relationship, they won't go through the trouble and potential drama of opening the relationship. They'll already be looking at other options and maybe cheat to try them out, then simply bail once they find one. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not chipping in for a Gucci bag or a €3,000 birthday dinner I didn't plan? I, 29 female, and my husband, 35 male, are part of a close group of friends. We're all in our late 20s to mid-30s. Most of us are married or in serious relationships, and we usually celebrate birthdays together. The usual setup has always been that the birthday person hosts and pays for everyone. But about a year ago, this weird new tradition started. For each birthday, someone opens a WhatsApp group and says, "Let's all chip in for this really expensive gift." We're talking about things like Hermes flip-flops, Formula One tickets, Gucci bags. It's all very public and a bit uncomfortable to say no. My husband and I have always gone along with it, even though it's felt a bit much at times. For example, we paid around €300 towards a €1,500 Formula One ticket for my husband's best friend. Let's call him Tom. At the time it felt okay, but now things are different. We're already parents to one child, we're trying for a second, and we just opened a new business, which we fully funded from our own savings. Everyone in the group knows this, including Tom. We're doing fine financially, but we're definitely being more careful. These expensive group gifts are not something we feel comfortable doing anymore. A few weeks ago, it was my husband's birthday. One of the friends asked if I was going to open a WhatsApp group for a gift. I said no, my husband didn't want anything. We hosted everyone for a pool party, paid for everything ourselves, and we're happy to do it. For the record, Tom gave my husband a nice bottle of tequila worth around €100. We appreciated it. I'm not complaining at all. I've never judged or compared gifts, and I've been genuinely grateful for every single one, no matter the price. 2 weeks later, it was Tom's girlfriend's birthday. He opened a group chat and said she would like a Gucci bag. I told my husband I didn't want to participate in this one. He agreed. We didn't reply in the group, but we bought her a €120 massage voucher as a gift. Her birthday was held at a really fancy and expensive beach restaurant. We went, enjoyed the event, had fun, and made sure the birthday girl had a blast. A few days later, Tom wrote in the group that the bill was 3,000 euros and said that if anyone would like to contribute, they could. I told my husband I didn't want to chip in. We didn't choose the place, we gave her a gift. And again, we're being more mindful about money right now. He obviously agreed. Then Tom messaged my husband privately and said he expected us to help with the dinner bill since we didn't join the group gift. He said our 100 euro gift wasn't enough, brought up the fact that we had always participated before, including for his Formula 1 ticket, and said we were being jerks for not pitching in at all this time. I honestly don't understand it. I've never once complained about the gifts we got. I've always been thankful, but suddenly we're being labeled as the rude ones, just because we made a different choice this time based on our current situation. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the a-hole. You can tell him that you are opting out of the tradition, and since you already had a birthday and didn't ask anyone to pay, that's the proof. I think, unfortunately, with many of these entitled greedy people, you need to spell it out. You should have opened a group chat for your husband and explained your situation, and said whatever you want to bring is fine, but we are opting out of these gifts for now and still look forward to celebrating with everyone. See you at our party. Subtle doesn't work on the clueless. 100%. If they hosted their own party and didn't expect anything from the group, it's wild for anyone to act entitled later. And to be honest, people forget generosity isn't a subscription service. Not the a-hole. Serving you with a bill after the fact, without informing you before the event that this would be expected, is not a fair, friendly move. If Tom wants to buy expensive Gucci bags to his girlfriend and plan 3K dinners, that's great. But he can't expect the same level of chipping in from everyone else. It's his girlfriend, not everyone's. If Tom was a good friend, he wouldn't have stepped on multiple boundaries and calling you jerks for not paying for his ideas. Exactly. It's wild how quick some people are to throw labels like jerks when you simply set financial boundaries. OP was more than generous, and expecting anything beyond that without upfront agreement is just entitled. Now for the updates. After reading all the comments here, we realized we might not have been as clear as we thought. So we decided to write a message in the group chat with all our friends. Hi guys. First of all, we love you all. Just wanted to say we're no longer participating in the group gift tradition. With our growing family and the new business, we're trying to be more mindful with money. We'll always celebrate you in our own way. Thanks for understanding. Everyone in the group were super supportive and said they understood completely. Everyone decided to just stop this tradition and go back to just celebrating each other's special day. Then, privately, one couple reached out to us and said they're currently going through IVF, which is super expensive, and have also felt uncomfortable with the pressure but didn't know how to say it. They were relieved we spoke up. Tom, on the other hand, texted my husband saying the message felt passive-aggressive and like we were throwing shade. His girlfriend messaged me saying we should have just said privately that we don't have the money and that now we've ruined the tradition for everyone. She doesn't know about the other couple. I told her, well, my birthday's coming up and I want a trip to Thailand for my whole family. No answer, obviously. It stirred things up a bit, but it also helped more people feel comfortable, so I think it was worth it. Second update, and it's a hilarious one. We've been trying to figure out who keeps logging into our TV streaming service. We live in Europe and the streaming service is to watch TV from our home country. We pay about 280 euros a year for it and can only use it on 2 devices at once. We kept being logged out of our living room TV. Turns out Tom was using it since my husband logged in at his house a year ago. Guess we're even LOL. Is this the same friend that was rude to your parents? Haha, I can't believe you made the connection, but yes. He apologized, sort of. They went on with their lives. And now this. He also ruined your wedding. Why do you still have him around? Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend to find his own place because he can't handle living in my art studio? I, 32 female, rent a converted warehouse loft in the arts district. When my previous roommate moved out 2 years ago, I took over the full lease because I'd always dreamed of having a proper studio space. The rent is steep, but I make it work through my art sales and the pottery classes I teach twice a week. My boyfriend, 29 male, moved in 8 months ago. He was spending a fortune on his downtown apartment, so when I offered to let him stay here for half what he was paying, he jumped at it. That's when the problem started. He immediately began complaining about everything. The kiln in the corner that I fire once a week, he says the smell is toxic, even though I have proper ventilation. The pottery wheels set up in the main living area. He thinks they make the place look unprofessional when his colleagues might visit. The paint splattered drop cloths, covering most of the floor. He wants me to roll them up every evening so we can have a normal living room. But the final straw came last month when he found out about my weekend workshops. I've been teaching small groups of 4 to 6 people basic ceramics on Saturdays for the past year. It's good money, and I love sharing the craft. When he realized strangers would be coming to our apartment regularly, he lost it. He demanded I find another venue because he doesn't want people tracking through his living space with muddy shoes. I explained this isn't just where I live. It's my workspace, my business, my artistic practice. I was doing all of this before he moved in. The whole reason I chose this place was because it's zoned for residential and commercial use. Last weekend, he actually hid in the bedroom during my workshop and then complained afterward about the noise and mess. He said that since he pays rent, he should have a say in how the space is used. That's when I snapped and told him maybe he should find somewhere else to live if he can't handle what this place actually is. Now he's giving me the silent treatment and acting like I'm being unreasonable. But I feel like he moved into my established life and workspace and is now trying to change everything about it. This loft was my dream space long before he arrived, and I worked hard to afford it on my own. Am I the a-hole for prioritizing my art practice and business over his comfort in what is technically my rental space? If he's been there for 8 months and you've been doing weekend workshops for the last year, how is he just finding out about it last month? I stopped doing them when he moved in to avoid conflict, but then recently started again because I need the income. Not the a-hole. He decided to move in with an artist and then is surprised and annoyed that you create art there. Compromises are needed when you move in with someone, but it doesn't seem like he wants compromise. He wants control. His concerns are legit, but the solution is he needs to get his own place to address them. The alternative is to go rent a separate art studio somewhere else, and that does not sound financially feasible. Your apartment is doing double duty as your office/workspace and home. You don't meddle in how or when he works in his office. It's unreasonable for him to expect you can't do your professional work in your own office without his input. Not the a-hole. He moved into your art space knowing what it was. Now he wants to change everything? It's your home, your work, your dream. He should respect that or move out. Thank you. That's exactly how I feel. He knew what he was signing up for when he moved in.